Hey there, Mission Control. Today we're going to be talking about people who are interested in food. Are you a person who eats? I joke about that a lot when people ask me, who are you trying to sell your products to, Jeff? The stuff that you've developed on the Real Martian and now at Eden. Who are you trying to target in your sales? And the answer is anybody who eats. That's a pretty big market, I would say. In all seriousness, what I want to talk about today is why Eden is a good fit for people who care about the quality, the availability, and the cost of food. If you've been watching the markets on food, and in the United States, it's really interesting because we're kind of isolated from the world when it comes to food. We have so much abundance, it's hard to ever think about being without food. But we're starting to see it, right? You can go to the supermarkets now, especially if you live in rural areas. If you live in downtown Seattle or Los Angeles, you may not see this yet because your high price vegetables and food is where the farmers sell to first. That's where the sellers sell to first. So when you go to the market, you probably don't see this at all. But if you live out in the country, out in the woods, and you're at the end of the logistic tail where, essentially you're the last one, the last pickings, so to speak, then you're definitely seeing this. You're seeing three things. You're seeing the quality, the availability, and the cost change of the food that you have. You're going to see the quality of your food is going down. You go in there, you look at your fresh vegetables and goods, you're going to see that they're just not the same quality that we're used to. Availability, you're going to see that fresh goods aren't always there like they used to be. And of course, cost. I think everybody can agree the cost of food is skyrocketing. And that's just in America. Around the world, it's even worse. And what we want to do at Eden is help with that problem. We saw this issue coming. Population is going to continue to increase, and we need to do something different. We need to grow food a different way. We need to make it more available. Now, this is not me poo-pooing on people who like to grow stuff in the dirt. I think growing in the dirt is the best way you could possibly grow food. But here, for those that are really, really passionate about growing in gardens, what do you do when you can't afford land and you live in the city? How do you grow in the dirt? You got to truck everything in. You got to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get who knows what they put in that stuff, and bring it up to your 50th floor apartment. No, that's not realistic. You can do it for little potter plants and all those kind of things, but not for growing real food. So we have almost 80% of the population is living in urban areas where they can't grow their own food. So if you're one of those people, again, who's really passionate about growing your own food and gardening, I 100% commend you. If you're a small farmer, thank you. If you're a big farmer, thank you. You guys have kept the world spinning and you're going to keep being part of the solution. No one is going to take stuff away from you as far as I'm concerned. Now, that all said, there's a whole nother episode on the fact that you can see the world is trying to attack small farmers and get them out of the way. And that's really bad for everybody. We need the small farmers. We need small farmers everywhere. I think, most of the really large agricultural, the big ag as we call it, most of that goes to exports, or to energy or to plastic stocks, creating chemicals that are used in our everyday life. I think over 80% of our food, actually I saw it's somewhere between 70 and 80% of our food comes from small farmers. So, I am in no way attacking you guys. I think you're amazing and great. My wife, we have a garden here. She takes care of it. So growing food in dirt is super awesome. And that is how God intended it, and that's how people should do it if they have land, if they live in a rural area or in a city, urban area where they have land. They need land. Land. Gotta have land, Superman.
Remember my father said, land.
What we wanted to do is come up with a solution that actually helps people everywhere across the board. And that's what we've done with the Eden Grow Tower, is that you can actually grow food any time of year, any place on the planet, any climate, no matter where you live. And you don't need land to do it. You just need a place that's heated and cooled, where you have electricity, which pretty much everybody does. And those are the folks that we're really trying to get out and help. Now, for the people in the rural areas, one of the cool things about our towers is that you can use it as a greenhouse offset. So I live on a road where we get a lot of snow. I'm about 2,400 feet, and I drive around and I see all the greenhouses, all the hoop houses, and every year without fail, you see them collapse in the snow. And now what I see are a bunch of frames just sitting there because nobody wants to spend the time or money to go put on new sheathing and redo the whole thing every single year because of the snow. And we've got a lot of good greenhouses here. It's not because they were poorly made or it's the wrong type. They all shed snow. It's just eventually they just collapse. Sometimes you get an ice storm that comes in and sheets your veneer, and then you get a snowstorm right after that. And it happens so fast, you can't do anything about it. You're just, you're stuck. So the cool thing about our towers is you can take them, put them in your houses, in your garages. They do need to be heated and cooled. And then you could grow all your starter plants inside without having to have an outdoor greenhouse. So way more convenient for you. And you don't have to go invest in the greenhouse that usually ends up sitting dormant most of the year too once you get your starters out of it. Now, for those that have big greenhouses, of course, you guys keep growing, keep doing things. You grow different vegetables. You have your tomatoes in there, all those kind of things. Super awesome. Not going after that, not even comparing it. That is awesome. But our towers really help people in the rural area as well as the urban setting. But specifically, folks that just don't have land, our towers are great for. When we look at the history of agriculture and when we started developing ag and growing food, it was a very natural process. Villages came together, communities came together, people came together, families, multi-generational information was passed down, and people learned how to grow their own food. In fact, through the Great Depression, one of the reasons that it wasn't worse is because everybody could grow their own food. They weren't so dependent on the system. If a depression was to hit us now, the question is, are you ready to take care of yourself? Do you even know how? Are you one of those people who thinks that, hey, all I need is sun, seed, water, and dirt, and I can grow stuff? Let me tell you, that's not how it goes. It's taken us a long time to get here, and agriculture hasn't fundamentally changed. You need large chunks of land, you need lots of labor, you need water, lots of water, and then you need inputs that go with that. And back in the day, when it was a balanced way of living, I guess I would say, where you worked to get your food and to do other things as well, but your food was a big part of your work. Nowadays, we work to do other things and we go buy food. But back when it was more balanced, you have livestock who you took care of, and their waste was organic. So you took their waste and you put it onto your soil, which then increase your soil's nutrition and then allows you to grow more of your food. And you have this really nice way it's all supposed to work. In today's world, we're really out of balance. We just don't have that anymore. So then as time went on, people wanted to have more and more comfort and less work. So they started trading their food for being able to buy it from somebody else. Essentially, it's like trading your freedom, right, for comfort. That's what you're doing, is you're taking away your ability to grow your own so that you could have comfort somewhere else. And then what came next was, essentially like a green revolution or like an agricultural revolution or what has now become big ag. It's not the save the planet green. It is the how do we get more food out of the land? And petroleum was introduced, using natural gas and other things that are used to develop your NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and your phosphates. And when that all happened, we were able to really feed more people. It was a good thing in that sense. But the methodology of it is not natural. You're taking a substance that has been refined and then you're putting it onto dirt that is being more is being asked of it than what it can do naturally. It can't get its natural methods, its natural processes don't have enough time to take place, so it can't reinvigorate itself. It can't refuel on the nutrients that it needs. So we need to augment that. And we've done a good job of that. The problem is that's just not sustainable. Eventually things run out. Eventually you essentially just destroy the microbiome. You destroy the bacteria in the soil. And the soil no longer is soil. It's just dirt with a bunch of NPK on it. So you have this kind of a method that just has come out of this green revolution, the big ag, and while it has helped feed millions and millions of people, and there's no way we can just go turn it off tomorrow. That would kill millions and millions of people. But this big ag revolution, the green revolution, what it's done is it's put this idea in everybody's mind that this is the only way you can grow food at this large level for this many people, and that's just simply not true. What we need to do is decentralize the food, break up. We're going to need those big farms. There's just too many people. But what we can do is we can decentralize primary food production so that it's done at hyper local levels. And that is what solutions like our towers are going to help do. So this is really changing a paradigm in one sense, in the fact that it used to be this way. It used to be communities. It used to be people and families growing locally, right in their home. Although it wasn't inside, it was outside, right? They would have victory gardens during the Depression. They would have, or World War II, they would have, their own plots where they would grow just a little bit of food. They don't have to grow it all, but they would get together and share with each other. And what we're trying to do at Eden is get us back to that. We want to get back to normal community, normal human community, where you can actually get together, share your lives over a meal, share your day over, trading. Here, I got some carrots that I grew. Okay, here's some lettuce, or, here's a pig, here's a cow, all these things. Try to get back to those things. Now, clearly we can't grow pigs and cows in our tower, but you can grow aquaculture. You can grow fish. So that's a really good opportunity for you. You can grow giant freshwater prawns. You could do tilapia. You could do some other things in there. And our towers are the only ones that allow you to do that. So that's pretty cool. Another change that's been happening in agriculture is the organic movement, right? Getting back to organic things. And now this is a very interesting topic for me. And I'm going to soapbox a little bit here on you because I've gone through this process when we were doing the Hab build here on the Real Martian channel. And I encourage you to go back and watch that playlist. One of the things we were doing is microgreen sales, which we also have set up as a playlist, and how to make money. We made $15,000 in sales off of those microgreens, and we were going for the organic certification. That certification was going to cost us $60,000. Folks, that is nothing more than a shakedown. It is absolutely hogwash that you can have chemical laden stuff that doesn't need to go through any certification process at all. It's stuff's really bad for you. They put on some of it, but the people who are actually just growing food the normal way have to pay 60 grand to have a label. It's just a label. And it's a shakedown for large corporations because normal people can't pay that. You need investment, you need outside help, you need loans. It's just not a good idea. So I'm not a big supporter of the organic label, but I am a big supporter of natural methods, right? Growing without having a bunch of herbicides, pesticides, and non-organic inputs that come with it. And our towers are almost 100% organic. There's like one thing in it that we're still working on trying to get to where we can find a better solution for nutrients that's more organic. But we found the cleanest, best one that we possibly have, and we sell that with every tower. The cool thing about our towers, you could make your own nutrient solution and pour it in. So you really have all the options that you need. And you can be, quote, organic, or what I'll say is the natural methods, because the big corporations have taken and stolen that organic label and made it mean something that it doesn't really mean. Soapbox, I'm sorry, but it's real. I mean, it's just, if you go through it, you'll see it is just really a painful thing that they've done with food. So what we've created is this solution where you can grow your own food in your own home, literally in your own home, in your garage, in your apartment, wherever you live. You can grow your own food. You could share food with community. Maybe you're on the second floor, somebody's on the third floor, somebody else is on the 50th floor. You guys get towers, you get together and you share, right? You guys are growing. And now imagine if everybody got a single tower and just grew a little bit of their food. Imagine how much more secure, how much more clean, how much more community we would have if we came back together the way things were meant to be. The next thing I want to talk about is the quality of food, specifically the flavor and nutrition profile. So this is going out to all the chefs, all the foodies that are out there. When you grow your herbs in your garden is amazing. And going out there, being able to get the basil, the sage, rubbing the mint in your hands and smelling it, it's a great thing. But if you don't have land, you get to go to the store and get something that came from maybe another country or maybe a few states away. If you have a farmer's market, definitely go support them. And I think most of the foodies and the chefs, they understand that. But for you guys that don't have those opportunities, our tower is a great solution for you because you can go grow the basil, grow the mint, grow the sage, grow whatever you want in the tower, grow all your herbs right there and have the freshest, highest nutrition, best quality. You know, there's a study that shows that when you cut a vegetable, when you kill it, when you disconnect it from its roots, the flavor profile, the nutrition profile, it starts to drop off immediately, and it's an exponential drop. So a lot of us have never really ever experienced what a real herb tastes like, what a real carrot tastes like when it's super fresh. And that's why the chefs pay for it. And that's why when you go to big restaurants that are really fancy, you pay the price for those top shelf ingredients. Now imagine if you could have the best ingredients in your house at all times and you don't have to be paying those high prices like that. Our towers allow you to do that, and you can grow other things in them as well. So it's not just an herb tower. It's not just an herb garden. You can grow microgreens. You can grow all your herbs. You can grow tomatoes. You can grow root vegetables. We have a tower that grows potatoes for you. You just go out and get your little micro, you know, the little tuber potatoes, the little reds, the Yukons that everybody loves right now. You can just go out the fingerlings and you just grab them, and it just keeps producing. It's really cool technology, and we're really excited. And it's an investment for everybody in this area. If you care about food, if you care about the quality of food, if you care about natural methods, if you care about getting back to the way things used to be, Eden's Tower, Eden as a company, is doing what you want. And we're asking for your help to join us in this mission so that we can provide sustainable food and energy independence to local communities around the world. We're starting with food, and we're doing it. We've got some good partnerships out there right now. Texas A&M, New Mexico State University, North Dakota State University. We're working with former NASA scientists. We have former Boeing staff on. We have former Boeing engineers on staff that are helping design the systems, make improvements. We have early adopters who have been following along on this channel for years that are providing us feedback, ways that we can make things better. We continue to improve. One of the last things I want to leave you with is this. I see the things that are happening in the environment around me, and I get kind of angry about it. So I try to control that temper here today. But I don't want to say it is. When I was growing up, I was taught a more conservative way of life. And there was an organization, it's called Evergreen State College, and we always made fun of them. We called them the Greeners because they would do, today even radically, weird things. They like not shower for a few weeks because they're trying to save water, and they stank so bad nobody wanted to be around them. I mean, it was really extreme. And in today's world of extremes, I think we've fallen victim of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, meaning that some of the concepts that people who are talking about conserving the planet or goods or environmentalism, for folks like me who were raised in a more conservative way, we were taught to basically hate them because they don't understand, that we got to make a living. The world goes round, and you just can't go around hugging trees all the time. You've actually got to do work. You've got to make a living. You got to pay the bills. All those things are super important. But you do need to be considerate of the planet. You do need to be considerate of the methods. You certainly don't want to go take 5 gallons of diesel and dump it on the ground and then grow your food in it. That's just stupid. So I think my personal journey as I've gone along here and what I've seen happening in the world is that greed is starting to take over, and people are doing things that are not smart. Like I said, dumping a bunch of petroleum on the ground and then going growing your food, and it sounds like a bad idea. You are what you eat, and I want to know what goes into my food. I'm 40, I turn 45 next month, and I'm starting to care more and more about my health because it's harder and harder to take care of myself as I get older. So I want to know what goes into my food, and my wife has helped me on this journey of understanding that. And I love biscuits and gravy, but I got to eat a lot less of it. Right now, I get to have it like twice, maybe 3 times a year, whereas before it used to be every Sunday. So I grew up on that meal, but I'm starting to learn a more balanced approach to eating. I love steak, but I also like a good salad, and those things together are great. And this world has become so extreme that it's really, really hard. I mean, there's some people like, don't eat any salad anymore, and there's other people that only eat salad, and they're both really loud. And what I want to really just bring back here is just common sense, which isn't so common anymore. I know everyone's going to hit me on that one. But really, it's we got to take care of your house, right? You got to keep your house clean. You got to keep your house in order. Nobody wants to trash your house that you live in. You want to take care of it. And the earth is our home, and we need to take care of it. And God told us to do that. He told us to take care of it. And we're doing a pretty bad job. Um, so, things that I see that really upset me, like the train derailment in Ohio. I mean, how many chemicals were dumped into the groundwater, on top of the food, the soil there for years is going to be changed. And then Nebraska, another derailment there. I mean, these are just two simple examples. Derailments happen all the time. Pollution happens all the time. Acid rain happens all the time. All these things happen all the time. And that's all falling back down. It's hitting the aquifers, it's getting on the soil, and all that stuff is in your food. And we're seeing now microplastics in your food, right? We're seeing people do things like put mRNA technology into your food. Whatever your position is on all those things, it doesn't matter. What I want to know is what's in my food so I can make an informed decision. And right now, when stuff is grown outdoors, I really don't know. When it's grown in large scale farms, I really don't know. The best thing I can do if I have access to it is go talk to a local farmer or at the farmer's market, see what they're doing, talk to them, ask questions. But even then, what's in their dirt? What do they live next to? Where's their water come from? All these things go into growing food, and they're all becoming seriously polluted right now. So we are going to have to change to go forward. We're going to have to change in a lot of different areas. And the area that I'm hoping to have impact on is just making people more aware of what good food is and giving you a way to grow your own food so that you can be independent and free and not dependent on a system that seems like it just kind of wants to control you and get you to spend more money. So what we've done here at Eden is we've created what we call a fishing pole, right? The grow tower is like a fishing pole. I need to sell it because I need to make money. That's how the world works. I've got to take care of my family, take care of my people, run the business. But this fishing pole is a good fishing pole and allows you to go catch your own fish. Instead of having to go to the market and pay somebody for all that fish, you can get a pole and you can go fishing. That's a metaphor. So you can now take a tower and you can grow your own food instead of having to go to the store and buy your food there. This kind of upsets the apple cart for a lot of large corporations. So what we need is your help by going to www.eatandgrowsystems.com/regcf and either pray for us, share the message of what we're trying to do, or pledge on that page to support us as we do what's called a regulated crowdfund, where we're actually allowing everybody on the planet, you can come and you can invest in Eat and Grow Systems and actually get equity. It's not like GoFundMe or Kickstarter where you just give money and maybe you get a little trinket. This is actual equity. So if you like this message, if you like what we're doing, go check out the Real Martian page and you can see the whole history of what we've done. Go check out the eatandgrowsystems.com/regcf page, play around and consider pledging. But this is the last chance for normal folks that are, and by normal folks, I mean non-accredited investors, to come and actually invest in Eden. So please consider it. But I get it. If you can't, I totally understand. Times are tough. Inflation is out of control. There's a lot of things going on. The costs just keep going up everywhere. So just pray for us. Just pray for help. Just pray that the right person comes along, sees this message and helps us out, and wants to invest or share. Sharing is caring. So don't just thumbs up this message. I mean, that's super important, but actually share it. Share this message. Say, hey, these guys, they're on it. They got a level-headed approach to stuff, and they're trying to make a difference. Consider taking a listen to what they have. So definitely do that. 3 ways that you can help us out. You can pray for us, you can share the message, or you can pledge by going to www.eatandgrowsystems.com/regcf. So we've covered a lot of things today. Thank you for sticking with me. Just really be more considerate of your food. And regardless of what you do here for my call to action on praying, pledging, or sharing, please consider growing your own food, even if it's just a little bit. Grow edible flowers, grow some microgreens, grow some potatoes, grow some carrots, whatever. Just choose a plant and grow it. and just start learning how to grow that. Get a potter on the front of your house and grow something that's edible in it. And you'll see that there's a big joy in that, and it's hard too. It's another cool thing about the towers is we really flatten the learning curve. So anyway, kind of going on here. Thank you so much for sticking with me this long. Please do consider praying, sharing, or pledging for Reg CF and Eating Grow Systems. And thanks to everybody on The Real Martian for following along and sticking with me. Really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. This is The Real Martian. Out.